Yes, Mzansi, welcome back. It's your Feel Good Breakfast Show. What a show we've already had, but let's step things up a notch and absolutely serve you, because I know our next guest is going to do exactly that. He's a financial expert on a mission to empower ordinary South Africans in navigating the challenging financial times whilst cultivating wealth at the same time. I know all of us are like, okay, yes, how do I do that? So this man is also the co-author of Word Ryk, Bly Ryk. Yes, it's available online and in all major bookstores nationwide. So ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Botha to the stage. How are you doing, brother?
Well, thank you for having me, and it smells amazing in here.
It does. It's very tempting, eh? It really is, man. But before we get distracted by the kitchen in our bellies, let's get into this chat of finance and wealth. And I absolutely love this new book that you're talking about. Not only the fact that you're serving South Africa with a book like this, but the fact that you've emphasized that it's not just about money. And I love the fact that you've incorporated more than just that into your perception of wealth. So what gave you this insight? What gave you the perspective to see wealth as something not just related to money only?
Yeah, wealth is a very personal concept, and I think each person needs to know what wealth means for them.
Yeah.
For some people, it's living close to family. For some people, it's caring for others. For some people, it's driving fast cars. And there's not a right or wrong answer, but I think you need to know what it is for you, and that's the real key. And that's what we've found with successful people. They have something that drives them.
Yeah.
And you need to find that something.
And often we have this perception of successful people being people that I guess have started their own business or created something completely crazy or new in this world. Again, you almost kind of highlight that that's not a necessity in order to create and garner wealth. How are we able to do this when we have people that maybe don't necessarily have that sort of self-esteem or that like ability or desire to say, I'm going to start my own company, I'm going to start this, I don't necessarily have this entrepreneurial side of me. Can they still achieve and attain wealth?
Yes, definitely. I think we look at the top Forbes list, the richest people in the world, and then see they have their own companies.
Yeah.
But the fact is that we don't see the failures, the companies that don't make it. And there's statistics in the USA that most millionaires are employees. They're not entrepreneurs. And I think it's a catchphrase these days, being an entrepreneur. Not everybody needs to be or has to be an entrepreneur to really obtain wealth. There's lots of employees earning commission or a salary that can, if they manage their finances well, can become really wealthy.
All right, and that's pretty much something that the book alludes to as well. How to manage that income, how to kind of get the best out of what you have, right?
Yeah, it comes down to discipline and patience. Two words that we don't want to hear and we're not really good at as people. But wherever you are in life, having the discipline and foregoing the small pleasure now to obtain a bigger pleasure later is really the key to building wealth.
It's almost like investing in better future happiness, right?
Yes.
I like that. I can get with that. Now, this was obviously for you quite an exercise, quite a journey, and again, something that we are grateful for, that you were able to like conceptualize this into a book. But you didn't do this alone. You also co-authored this with your brother, right?
Yes.
Botha? What was that experience like? I mean, obviously working together, working with family at the same time. Was there this sort of aha moment that you had where you were like, this is what we need to do together?
To be honest with you, it was never our dream to write a book.
Yeah.
But as you delve deeper into your field of expertise, and you see there's questions that people ask, and you see there's a need for something, and then there was a moment, we first had a show on KykNet called Welvaartskeppers, and then we said, let's take it a step further and write a book. But luckily, yeah, my brother had some help, and then also our father wrote also a piece towards the end, where it's more about retirement and making sure you prepare for retirement.
And I like that. It's almost like getting consultation from more than one party. Yes. That really assists me. For lack of a better term, let's be more specific with the book and what topics it actually covers, right? So we're talking about things like investment, planning, establishing a legacy, retirement planning as well. These are some things that I feel like South Africans don't have necessarily in check right now. They haven't really like conquered this. What, in your experience, has been some of the sort of financial factors that we have overlooked? Something that you could maybe pre-warn us, I guess, in terms of, you guys need to make sure that you have this in check. Is there anything that's really stood out and alarmed you in this sort of journey?
Yes, the book is about the two sides to wealth. There's firstly creating wealth, making money in your field of expertise. And then it's about managing that wealth that you made there and making it grow more. And I think people obviously don't understand that often. You know, they want to make money trying to manage it. So I think that's why something like Bitcoin was so appealing, because now there's a way I can get rich quick. And 99% of the time it doesn't work like that. You need to find your place where you upskill yourself. That's where you earn your money. and then only can we get to the managing your money, the investments, the retirement annuities, etc.
And like,
so the two sides to it.
Yeah, and like you said, there's not really a shortcut. It's discipline and consistency, I think.
Yeah, discipline and patience.
Discipline and patience.
If there was a shortcut, the book would only be one page long. So.
Look, I absolutely love that, Gio. Don't go anywhere. Obviously, we're going to continue this conversation, but also remind you that we're giving away a copy of this incredible book, Word Ryk, Bly Ryk, and let us know what is one piece of financial advice that you wish you knew sooner. Come through with that answer, and you can share it on Expresso's Facebook page. And don't forget, the terms and conditions do apply, so you can find it at expressoshow.com. And this comp closes on at 12 o'clock tomorrow. That's Friday, the 25th of August. So what are you waiting for? Get involved in this, and obviously stay with us, because we're going to continue this conversation with Gio in just a bit, and hopefully just build that financial wealth, build that enthusiasm, build everything that you need within you to unlock this ability that in the future, you're going to be able to have an absolutely beautiful life. And Gio is definitely someone that is doing that and a little bit more, so don't go anywhere. This conversation will continue.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Yes, Mzansi, welcome back. It's your Feel Good Breakfast Show. We'll be carrying on with the Feel Good right now and helping you gain an advantage when it comes to your finance. And we're continuing the insightful conversation with financial expert and co-author of Word Ryk, Bly Ryk. Yes, it's Botha in the building, and we're talking about strategies and navigating and challenging our financial landscape. Earlier, Gio, we were talking about some great things involving the book too, but I want to dive deeper into this concept of finance. And something I think you've definitely highlighted in the book and experienced is the habitual behaviors that we have when it comes to managing our finances. Now, there's good habits and bad habits. Let's talk about the positive stuff rather. What is it that has occurred to you that is a really easy good habit that we can maybe even incorporate in our lives right now that results in better finance or financial success?
Yes, it's definitely all about habits. We just heard about the lotto winners, that if they just win
Poor
money,
habits there,
or
yeah?
Same with inheritance. If you inherit money, and you often see sad stories that actually happen with the money because the habits are not there. The mindset of creating wealth and sustaining the wealth is not there. So it's very important to get that habit, even if you're not earning as much. Because a lot of people say, if I earn X amount, then only will I start investing.
Yeah, why can't
but
you
if you
start
can't
now?
save with 10,000 Rand, you're not going to save with 100,000
Yeah.
Rand. And I think that habits is very key, and that's what we address in the book.
It makes absolute sense, right? And this is something that I'm learning only later on in my life, as I had to go through, let's say, school and varsity and beyond, and you're still not fully educated. Now, one thing that you highlight, which I'm absolutely loving, is incorporating children, incorporating family into this entire facet of finance, right? Why do you think that's so important? And how can we involve kids in financial conversations without it feeling like work and, oh, it's a burden, you know what I mean, like a chore almost? How do we do that?
Yeah, I think as parents, then, when we talk about finance, we chase the children out of the room.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the grown-ups are going to talk now.
Yes.
And in school, we don't learn about finance. You learn about chemistry and biology. You don't learn about basic things as budgeting and tax.
Yeah.
And then as we grow up in university, very few of us actually learn about money. So it's important to just have that conversation and start with your kid when he's little. You know, if he wants to buy a sweetie at the shop, great, then take some money out of his piggy bank, you know, and reward him if he does something well. It's simple things like that they should know the value of money.
Yeah, and I think that is so important to just build a more financially literate society, because currently what I see is a lot of us failing, not able to manage our money, our finances, and everything that is involved with that. Here's a reason why I think that's possibly the case, because the space can be overwhelming. Financial terms and things can be so complex that you're just like, I can't, I'm just going to run, let me go to the shop rather, buy something. So you have a great way, I think, of simplifying this in the book, which I love. Now, maybe we can share a little bit of an insight into maybe an analogy or a metaphor that could possibly more easily simplify a complex financial term, because there's so many of them, right?
Yes. If we look at the story of Alice in Wonderland.
Okay,
Alice in
I like
Wonderland.
where this is going.
There, she's walking through the woods and the paths diverge.
Yeah.
I think that she needs to choose one of the two paths, and she asked the purple cat, which road should I take? And the cat asks her, well, where do you want to go? And she's like, I don't really know where I'm going. And he says, well, then it doesn't matter which road you take. And where it comes down to is you need to know where you want to go, not where other people want to go. Because now we look at social media. People are buying nice cars. Now I buy a nice car, but I don't really care about cars. And when I get that car, I'm not happy. Because that wasn't for me happiness. I want to travel. I want to sit on a beach in Thailand, you know. So each person needs to know what makes them happy. And I think we see that much, and with the lotto winners once again, they buy things to make other people happy, not themselves. If you want to care for your parents, maybe you want to start a non-profit organization, that will really make you happy. But people don't sit down and take the time to know themselves and what will make them happy.
Know yourself and plan and ask yourself why. What do I want to make money for in the first place? And what's the goal? I love that. Listen, Joe, this is insightful. I'm absolutely loving this. One last thing for me, just before we go, maybe a sort of philosophy that you could share with us. Balance is something you highlight in this book. It's key. And the fact that you're speaking about not just having a big pile of money, but it's more than that. How do we incorporate balance?
Yes, money should not be the aim. Money is just a vehicle where you can get to your goal, to your aim. And we see that if someone wins a gold medal at the Olympics or win a Rugby World Cup medal, you can see just the emotion side because they know the sacrifices it took to get there. So the journey is also part of it. Like I said, the lotto winners, the money is not the part of it. That's not the happiness. The journey, the sacrifices you make along the way, that will really bring you happiness with money.
Oh, Gio, your insights are absolutely valued. Thank you so much for coming through this morning and hopefully elevating us, Mzansi and everybody else. So don't forget, you've got an opportunity to buy this book, but also win this book too. And let me just remind you that we are giving one of these away, and it's a copy of Word Ryk, Bly Ryk. So we just want you to let us know what's one piece of our financial advice that you wish you knew sooner. And we want you to share your answer on Expresso's Facebook page. And the terms and the conditions can be found on expressoshow.com. And tomorrow, 12 o'clock, 25th of August, is when this competition ends. So what are you waiting for? It's time to elevate yourself. Gio, thank you once again. If you want more financial advice, you can definitely reach out to him. I'm sure he's got a plethora of information, but the book is where it's all at. Get involved.